Good morning, world. We have the new show from Airlex Network, and it's called Seth Crab Chronicles. So let's introduce you to my good friend, Mr. Seth, and bring him aboard. How you doing this morning, Mr. Seth?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Oh man, out here by this water, man, understanding the love and the good smell. So let's introduce you to the world as they get the opportunity to meet you for the first time as we start the Seth Crab Chronicles. So
Absolutely.
give them a small little introduction that you feel is appropriate.
Well, my name's Seth, and I've been fishing for a long time now. And at least in terms of like trying to pay the bills and stuff, I've been fishing that way for maybe at least almost 10 years now. And I fish crab, as you saw last week. Last Friday you saw that. And I do fish lobster come lobster season. But right now, a lot of crab and just a lot of fishing.
Absolutely. So what inspired you besides the money to get into the crab fishing world?
Well, I just really like fishing. And, when I was younger, like the second I got my driver's license, I was driving around and a couple of my buddies had boats and stuff like that, but I was like 16, 17 years old. I didn't have any money. So having to pay for gas to go out on the boat and go fishing and stuff, it was, really hard to do. And so one of my buddies, he's super smart, and he's like, dude, if we just get, this license, that license, whatever, we could actually sell the fish, and, we could essentially, if we're lucky, we could fish for free. And so I was like, gee, that'd be great. That's what we need right now. So one thing led to another, and then a few, handful of years go down the road, and here I am with, at least a lobster permit and fishing crab and stuff like that. And I just always enjoyed it, always enjoyed it.
Right. And what's so beautiful about it is that the young entrepreneur spirit kicked in, and then the business side started to evolve, and you learn a little bit more about the business, you learn a little bit more about what inspired you, and you kind of collectively put that together. That's one of the most beautiful things. So as an example, that load that you had last week, give me a size. What would that size look like far as weight and pounds and things of that nature?
Last week we had just a little over 1,400 pounds. And that was, it's a phenomenal day, really. The crab fishing's been really good. We've been getting more and more traps out here and there. I build my own crab traps and stuff, and then we get them out in the water. And like last week, I think we got to the dock at like 4:30 in the morning, loaded up bait. We take a lot of bait out so we can rebait the traps. Then we go out, and usually it takes maybe 5 hours or so to pull through all the traps that we have, and then we just pull them up and rebait them, dump all the crab out, and store the crab on the boat until we've pulled all of our traps, and then we come in. So it's a
So what type of bait
pretty
do
big.
you use?
As far as bait goes, we get basically recycled bait, which is like from like our local, fishmonger, fish market, you could say, fish processor. They process thousands of pounds of fish, all different kinds of fish, and with the carcasses and the extra fish that they have left over, that's pretty much what we're using as bait. So it's what I would consider like recycled bait. It's going to go in the trash, and instead of it going in the trash, we take it and we can use it and feed the crabs with it.
Right. Lure them in, lure them in.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so how many traps do you guys set out? And actually, what body of water do you actually go out to and do the fishing?
Well, we fish off like Huntington Beach. We're looking anywhere from like right out of Huntington Harbor, 4 or 5 miles, all the way down almost towards Newport, but still off Huntington Beach, out there. And I just spread them out because there's kind of crab everywhere. And, we run right now, I believe we have just about 50 traps in the water for the crab. And yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it's all fairly close to the slip and stuff like that. But our furthest trap's maybe 8 miles or so from the slip, so it's all coastal fishing. It's not like we're going way out there.
Oh, okay. So one of the things that I recognized last week is that majority that looked like it was the father or the mother. What are the name of those different types of crab right there?
Well, a lot of them were like they're yellow rock crab. That's what we catch probably 97% of the time, and then the other 3% or so are like a mix between brown rock crab and red rock crab, and that's what we're catching.
Okay, right. Because that big one, so with that big one, that would that be a brown rock because of its color?
So that big one that you saw, that was actually a spider crab, and that one's totally
Ah,
different. That one's totally different than like the rock crabs that we catch. That
right.
one was actually that one doesn't even fit in the trap. That one was actually what I call it's like a climber. So he was just hanging on. He was to the outside of the trap. He couldn't get in the trap, so he was just hanging on to the outside, and he got a free ride all the way up to the surface, and then I actually grabbed him with my hands. He wasn't even in
Wow.
the trap or anything. I grabbed him before he could jump off.
Right. Oh wow. So did y'all keep that one right there? Because he looked like a pet you could put in a 200-gallon tank or something.
Yeah, those ones get big. Those, spider crab. Some people call them sheep crab. I've even heard people call them Long Beach king crab.
Right.
And yeah, that one was huge. That's about as big as I've seen them get. And with that one, I don't know what they did. They either just showed the fish buyer and then they threw it back in the water, or the fish buyer actually bought it and took it. Because people do eat them.
Right.
So, yeah.
So would they kind of consider that a king crab? Because it was pretty big.
Yeah, it'd be the closest thing we have here in Southern California. That would be like a king crab. But
Oh,
yeah, I don't know if they're actually in the same family or not. I don't think
right.
they are.
Absolutely. And one of
You got me, Xavier? You got me? Yo, Xavier, you got me? I lost him. I don't know where he went.
Sorry for the small little interruption. The Wi-Fi kind of funny out here by this water. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. There you are.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I appreciate your patience, man. So I wanted to ask one quick question for we move to the ending part. I know you explained to me a few minutes ago that there was some indifference in relation to the buyer and the seller for this week's travels. So could you give the world a little insight on a little bit of that backstory?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, we work with one buyer, and they pretty much buy all of our crab, and then they resell it. So they're like the broker essentially, the middleman, you could say. They
Right.
got all the relationships with the markets. They got the relationships with markets, restaurants, mostly markets, I think. Around Southern California, and then with those relationships, they're able to sell off all the crab that they buy from us, and our job's essentially just catch the crab, and then we sell it to them.
Oh, okay. That's the beautiful part. So I know you was on your travels this morning when I tapped in. I'm very thankful for the beginning opportunity of this beautiful journey that we're about to put together. Especially getting the opportunity to show some lobster with your fisherman skill set and the crab.
Yeah,
And just opening up the view of what this world looks like from Seth's Crab Chronicles. Thank you for
yeah,
this opportunity today. I'll tap back in with you, and we'll be able to set up and get ready for that live introduction to the activity. And I greatly appreciate you, and you have a beautiful day.
perfect. You too, Xavier. Thank you.
Thank you too, man.
All right, we'll see you.
Hey Wes, it's me. I caught him again, man. I don't know what I should do. Come on, tell me.
Well, look, Jay, for me, it's kind of awkward, you know what I mean? Because you know how I feel about you. But, woman, dry your eyes. You don't have to cry no more. He ain't worth a tear. Not one of your tears, babe. If you ever need somebody's shoulder to cry